Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror only to be stifled by the way you look and slip into a deep sense of sadness? Well, this is the reality for most men not willing to make any effort to improve themselves in life. You see, various factors contribute to how we are perceived as men, and regardless of what anyone tells you, being attractive is one of these. In fact, most people judge another person purely based on how they look, and within the first 2 seconds of meeting them. But what if there are things you can do to make yourself more attractive? Whilst many influencers will tell you to go to the gym or buy their supplements, I believe there are a few additional steps you can follow to become the most attractive man in the room. So without speculating, let me reveal some of the secrets that the most attractive hide to ensure they are at the top of the food chain when it comes to attractiveness.
Peter?
Yeah?
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Number 1. Impress with your looks. Hygiene routine. You should focus on the small things, like a good skincare routine that helps you stay and look younger, especially if you don't know where to start. You see, clear skin makes you look healthy. This should be compounded by your oral hygiene and white teeth that sparkle when you speak to people. Don't forget your general hygiene. You see, you can raise yourself from a 4 out of 10 to a 7 by simply smelling great. Much like food, the sense of smell tells you a lot about someone. If food smells great, it usually tastes great, which is something you can use to your advantage. Remember that nicely trimmed nails might even add another point to your score among women. Become stylish. Next, the style factor is crucially important. You want to be successful, and this means you need to dress for success. Most women are attracted to someone who has a good haircut, especially when it enhances his face and complements his features. I already made a video on this, and the link will be in the description. If you have all this done, you should proceed to find the right clothing that matches your body. I just want to give you a small tip when it comes to finding your clothing style. You can head on to Instagram or Pinterest to get an idea of styles that you might want to choose. However, it is best to stick to natural colors, like navy, black, white, and brown when selecting clothes. You should also consider wearing jewelry that subtly complements your style instead of the flashy chains that many rappers wear. Once you fully comply with these things and they become embedded in your daily schedule, you should be attracting men and women with ease. Build a powerful mindset. Are you constantly negative or trying to compare yourself with other people? Well, this can show not only a lack of confidence, but insecurities that you need to figure out. Believe me, women and other men can smell your insecurities a mile away. Stop comparing yourself with others. First of all, to get your mindset in line with how you look, you should consider comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, instead of trying to measure up with someone else. You see, you are the only one that cares about you, and why would you allow someone to live rent-free in your mind? Build a relationship with money. Building a good relationship with money will also ensure that your stresses are taken care of, and you're not distracted by this issue. Keep in mind that money goes hand in hand with success, which means that the more successful you become, the more your mindset will naturally improve. However, you should note that money cannot completely change your mindset by itself, which leads me to the next important part. Getting rid of toxic relationships. You see, bad and toxic people can negatively impact your mindset. It's important to get rid of the negative people in your life and find like-minded friends. Once you have checked all of these boxes, you start to show more confidence, and people will associate this with overall happiness. We all know that saying that girls just want to have fun. Well, now you become the fun person in the room that everyone wants to be around. Number 3, being principled. Once you have everything in order, you look and smell great, you're in peak physical condition, and you are always in a positive mood, your moral values become imperative. You see, people might see you as one of the most attractive people from afar, but for most women, it takes more than that to fall in love. Women analyze the way you deal with other people, and they're looking to see if you're a good person in general. So, how can you do this? Giving out compliments. By complimenting someone, you can not only initiate some charismatic flirting, but you can truly make their day. Once you go around complimenting and encouraging people, you will see just how little encouragement it takes to help someone transform their lives. But you need to give compliments and encouragement without expecting something in return. This directly leads me to my next point. Giving without receiving. You see, tipping a waiter an extra $10 or buying a meal for a homeless person shows some empathy, and people love someone that can show a bit of empathy. One reason for this is that every person you meet is dealing with his or her own battles, and having someone that shows empathy is often all they need. In essence, you want to fall in love with the idea of giving and not expecting anything in return. This will show the people around you that you truly are a good person. But wait, there is one more moral principle you need to ensure you have to be attractive. Show some integrity. You see, having integrity means that people can trust you, and in most cases, they can rely on you to come through for them. This means not making promises you can't keep, and never indulging in gossip or spilling someone's secret. For someone to truly like you, they need to trust you, and by showing integrity, you can win them over and they will see you as far more attractive than a bad boy walking around and telling everyone how many women he has slept with. But I hope you're still here for the next one. You might be surprised to see how everything ties into our next tip that could make you the most attractive man in the room. Build healthy habits. Your habits will be the one thing that differentiates you from the person acting like they are a good person. You see, many people will watch this video and try to manipulate the game, and they will show they are a good person, whilst looking great for a while, but their unattractive habits will ultimately ruin them. The thing about habits is that they show who and what we truly are. But even if you currently have bad habits, you need to understand that they are malleable. Yes, you can put in the work and effort to cut out these bad habits or simply replace them with something better. Cut out porn. The first thing I would want you to cut out is watching porn. It is essential that you cut out porn, as this can destroy your sense of accomplishment and give you a quick release of tension that could have been utilized elsewhere. But I'll make an in-depth series on how to cut porn out, not the traditional take a cold shower information you'll find all over the internet. Stop eating junk. Next, you should cut out the fast food habits. You see, fast food are packed with additives and preservatives that screw with your mental and physical health. Yes, you can have it a few times a year when you spend time with your friends, but in general, you should eat healthy foods that can boost testosterone and help reduce body fat. Eliminate doom scrolling. Finally, I have to address doom scrolling. One of the most pathetic trends I see among men is their addiction to social media. If you use it for connecting with others and networking, or even marketing, this is great, but senselessly scrolling is a waste of time. You must have some form of entertainment, but you need to give yourself rules and follow them. If you're guilty of these things, it's time to replace these bad habits with new and more improved habits. Exercise. I would suggest getting yourself out of the house and exercising. Yes, I know I already touched on this, but working out will make you feel better, look better, and have more energy throughout the day. These are important when you want to portray a masculine body and image. I would stick to large muscle groups like the back, legs, and chest, as these relate to the most testosterone. Additionally, you want to build your shoulders for a broader look and focus on your triceps to increase the size of your arms. Since you are trying to look good, you can focus on these aesthetic muscles first to get a head start. If you feel comfortable working out, it's important to work out your mind as well. Educate yourself. You see, reading will not only make you more articulate, but expand your knowledge. It's important to read books on philosophy, worldviews, mindset, mental health, good habits, and understanding relationships by improving charisma. I've put 2 of my favorite books in the description, but don't limit yourself and try to increase your knowledge as much as possible. This leads me to the final good habit, meditation. If you can train your mind and body, the next step is improving your cognitive ability and concentration. Doing a few meditative exercises each day would help with emotional control and improve your mental health. I've found that as little as 30 minutes per day is useful. But which tip have we left for last? Number 5. Develop skills and hobbies. One of the most attractive things for women is a competent man, someone who can do stuff in the real world, and you need to ensure you become such a man if you want to be attractive. Competent skills. It is important to become competent with everyday things like changing a tire and even fixing small things at home. However, improving your social skills will ensure that you have an alluring charm that can draw people in. Yes, you might need to speak to the mirror for a while, but you will thank me once people are hanging on your every word. Good hobbies. Another great thing to incorporate into your life is hobbies. You see, good hobbies can make you attractive, especially if you choose things that could be artistic. I personally play the guitar in my free time, but doing action sports with your mates or even something adventurous like skydiving is very attractive. You should think of the Venn diagram and try to include personal, social, mental, and physical hobbies to round you out. Another of my favorite hobbies is playing football on the weekends. It makes me think. It's physical, it brings me to social encounters, and finally, I personally love it.